Good afternoon, everyone. May I request everybody to kindly settle down as we will be starting in a few moments. Again, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. May I request everybody to please stand up for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by a prayer to be led by Attorney Glory Perez Reyes.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, selos ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nanagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mo pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawag mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan, ang ay di magtitingin, luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling ko, ang inigaya na pagkay mag-aami, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Almighty Father, we come to you today to thank and praise you for all the blessings and guidance. Lord, we take this opportunity to also give thanks for bringing everyone here present in the unity of this endeavor against vote buying and vote selling, not just for this upcoming BSKE, but also in all our succeeding electoral activities. Lord, as we embark on this journey together, we humbly pray that you empower us with strength, protection, and harmony, that we will successfully accomplish our goals for this committee. May your guiding light lead us in pursuing this lifelong commitment for the betterment of this society. These we ask in the mighty name of our God. Amen.
Please take your seat. With the permission of the Honorable Enbang, allow me to acknowledge the participants in today's affair. We have our Honorable Chairman, George Erwin M. Garcia, Commissioner Ray E. Bulay, the Commissioner in charge for DSKE, and Commissioner Ernesto Ferdinand Ferdinand Maceda Jr., Commissioner in charge for the Committee on KontraBigay. Joining us also are the senior staff of the Commission on Elections from the main office in the National Capital Region, headed by the Executive Director, Chapisto E. Elnas Jr. Joining us also virtually are regional election directors. From the Philippine National Police, we have Police Brigadier General Chito G. Bersalunya, Police Lieutenant Colonel Vermin M. Suen, Sir Jerome Brian Saniano, from the National Bureau of Investigation, Assistant Director Angelito DLP Magno, Attorney Yentio D. Malikad, from the PPCRB, Mr. Dioscoro June Ochanco Jr., Dr. Arnie Serrano, from NAMPREL, Attorney Emir Deogene Mendoza, from Lente, Ms. Briza Rosales, Attorney Kevin Bulotano, Ms. Alexa Yarao. From the Public Attorney's Office, Attorney Mario T. Junicio Jr. and Attorney Patrick G. Montemayor. From the Office of the Solicitor General, State Solicitor Emmeline Yonil Loreto and Associate Solicitor Paulo Hernandez. From the EMLC, Attorney Marie June F. Fabroa. And from the Department of Education, Attorney Suzette Ganaban Medina and Attorney Jaisil Guadalquiver. From GCash, Mr. Gilbert Escoto, Mr. Mark Anthony Amorao, and Mr. Kenji Aman. From the Department of Interior Local Government, Mr. Simeon Garcia Jr. And from the Philippine Information Agency, ADG Mariter Menya and Mr. Lyndon Plantilla. That's it for our participants. At this point, I would like to turn over the microphone to the father of the Committee on KontraBigay, our Honorable Commissioner, Ernesto Ferdinand P. Maceda Jr. Sir.
Thank you, Attorney Marisa Corazon T. At least walang paternity suit pag nilinaw mo na. Our honored guests from government, private sector, and our citizens' arm, so expertly acknowledged by Attorney Corinne Nefa. Senior staff from the main office and the regions, colleagues from the commission, all bedecked in fighting red you will see. Our chair, George Erwin Moica Garcia, codename Atlas, a son of lightning. And my brother, Commissioner Ray Bulay, Commissioner in charge of the BSKE. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to today's momentous event where we come together, taking that extra step to unite in a worthy and common cause, the fight against vote buying and vote selling. Chairman George, naalala ko pa ang aking first time na bumoto. Mawalang galang na po sa PPCRB, alam kong 1991 lang kayo nagtatag. Ang lente, 2007. No? Ang NAMFREL, ito ang first electoral exercise. I speak of the 1984 Batasang Pambansa elections. I was 19 going on 20. Ayun, kahit ako, pinalaki ako sa campaign trail. Pagdating sa pagboto, medyo bagito ako. No? So nangangapa, nakanganga. Sulat ang kursunada sa balota, sabay silid sa dilaw na ballot box. Kasunod noon ay ginhawa. Sinundan pa ng pagkamangha. Dahil dama ko ang bigat ng kapangyarihan sa aking mga kamay. When in that solemn act of choosing who will represent us, we actualize our contributions to something greater than ourselves. This is democracy's highest privilege and our most important duty as citizens. But as independent beings, our choices will not always align. And as emotional beings, partisanship will drive our interests apart. Inevitably, rather than await legitimate outcomes, factions try to impose will upon will, using force, using funds, using fraud. Next to forcible stealing of votes, the worst of these schemes is vote buying and vote selling, which is why we are here today. Real talk lang. Ito ay hayagang pambabastos at pagsasalaula. Gamitin natin yung word ni Chair, pambabalakura. Sa karapatan ng botante, sa proseso ng pagboboto, sa diwa ng demokrasya. It is an affront to all voters because it seeks to substitute our expressed choices and opinions and replace them with those that we have already rejected. It is an insult to the Commission and also to all election stakeholders because it wastes all the time and hard work that we put in ensuring a neutral voting environment. And it is an assault on democracy itself because it disrespects the decision of the majority. Bawat isa sa atin may karapatan makilahok sa pagdesisyon para sa lahat. The essence of democratic decision-making is precisely this, the notion of one man, one vote. So if you do this properly, there is a balance in the world because this is the only time we are all truly equal. So when you buy and you sell votes, you unjustly tip the electoral scales to favor the strong over the weak, the rich over the poor, the bad and the ugly over the good. So Congress has moved to curb this practice, as we know, through the Omnibus Election Code and its allied election laws through the years. Yet the penal clause, today it is at up to 6 years, with disqualification from public office and disqualification from suffrage. Still, this has failed to deter the violators. Ito, during the 2022 elections, we received 1,226 reports of vote buying. UNFREL, the International Alliance of Election Watchdogs, held that vote buying mechanisms in the country are our election's biggest flaw. Ang going rate daw kada boto ay 100 pesos hanggang 2,000 pesos. Mababa yata. At tanggap ng marami ng election daw ay paraan upang kumita. In a study by the Ateneo School of Government, and I thank NAMFREL and our Citizens Arms for inviting us to your focus group discussions. Sabi, about 40% of the poor that were surveyed confirmed the practice of vote buying in their communities. And 20% admitted to actually selling their votes. An SWS survey showed that vote buying in Mindanao was up to 26%, while 6% of Metro Manila respondents witnessed the practice. Again, in the 2022 elections, vote buying leveled up. Among others, TUPAD and other national government pandemic subsidies were distributed during the campaign period. Yun ding pang-typhoon victims, pinangkampanya. Emergency employment programs such as sweeping of streets, and buying through digital wallets and online cash transfers. There is really a need to reframe our policy against vote buying and selling, recognizing that these acts are also symptomatic of broader historical socio-economic problems. Ilang dekada na ito na namamayagpag, bunsod ng kaugaliang pakikisama, pami-pamilya, at utang na loob. Kaya utang na loob, tama na. The Commission on Elections is acting. Our mandate is to deliver elections that are fair, credible, honest, orderly, and peaceful. To this end, the Constitution has endowed us with considerable powers. Number one, to enforce and administer election laws. Number two, to investigate and prosecute their violations. Number three, to deputize the entire machinery of government for this purpose. And number four, to recommend measures to Congress to prevent and penalize election fraud, including vote buying and vote selling. Just as we've risen to previous challenges, we will overcome vote buying, and we will do it together. To start with, what used to be just a task force, just an ad hoc committee in 2019, is now a standing committee, a permanent committee of the COMELEC, the only permanent committee of the COMELEC, dedicated to attacking what is truly an internal threat to democracy. These past months, the committee has labored to finalize a historic mechanism and structure implementing vote buying and vote selling policies and guidelines. Our program is deterrence, enforcement, prosecution. Tama-tama yung arrangement mga lamesa dito. Deterrence sa ating information campaigns for which the PIA, the DepEd, is going to help us. Enforcement, nandito po ang PNP, NBI, AFP, tutulungan ho tayo na harangin o itigil ang mga pagganap ng ating vote buying efforts. At ang prosecution, nandito ang ating SOLGEN, ang ating DOJ, ang ating PAO. We reiterate our acknowledgement of your participation, especially at the working groups, the focus groups, and the run-up to today's launch. Your urgency and volunteerism has been overwhelming, and several have made the time to be present with us here. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your invaluable contributions yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Salamat din po sa media. Hindi may tatwa ang pakinabang ng aming mga reforma mula sa inyong pag-uulat. Masdan na lang ang epekto sa premature campaigning. Malinis ang mga lansangan. Walang bahid ng mga poste at mga pader. Through you, they know that we mean business. Pero sa vote buying at vote selling, hindi na business as usual. Because there will be no sleeping during our watch. Otherwise, we wake up to find the wrong representatives sitting in high places. Therefore, today is our call to arms, not just as one government, but as one nation, to exert all efforts, to suffer any sacrifice, to bear every burden, in order that we may accurately reflect who the people genuinely elect. Friends, it's my honor to present COMELEC Unanimous Resolution number 10946. Thank you.
Laganap umano ang vote buying national elections ng dalawang reklamo ng vote buying laban sa kampo.
Sabi-sabi lang punta tayo doon, meron daw dito abutan, mga ganon. Iba kasi katira na pera na yan eh. Hindi Manila alam kung sino iboto ko. Tanggap lang sila ng tanggap.
Ang pagdaraos ng malaya, patas at tunay na halalan ay batayan ng demokrasya. Ngunit may humahadlang sa demokratikong prosesong ito. Ito ay ang pagbili at pagbenta ng boto.
Huwag na lang kayong bumoto, babayaran na lang namin kayo.
Ang mga ganitong gawain ay nagiging sagabal upang maisagawa ang pangunahing karapatan sa pagboto ng mamamayan. Sa pamamagitan ng pinagsama-samang pagsisikap ng Commission on Elections, iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno, citizens' arms, at iba pang stakeholders, magsasagawa ng pambansang pamamaraan upang sugpuin ang pagbili at pagbenta ng boto na tinatawag na modernong kanser sa demokrasya upang magbigay ng maayos na mekanismo at istruktura sa pagpapatupad ng mga alituntunin ng komisyon laban sa pagbili at pagbenta ng boto at tiyakin ang aktibong pakikilahok ng lahat ng sektor ng lipunan upang sistematikong itigil ang mga gawaing ito nang sa gayon ay maprotektahan ang pagiging sagrado ng boto. Nilikha ng Commission on Elections, ang Committee on KontraBigay. Sa bisa ng COMELEC Resolution 10946, itinatag at binigyang kapangyarihan ang Committee on KontraBigay para pigilan ang pagbili at pagbenta ng boto sa pamamagitan ng paglalatag at pagpapatupad ng isang maaasahan at epektibong sistema ng pag-uulat, pag-iimbestiga at pag-uusig ng pagbili at pagbenta ng boto bilang election offense sa ilalim ng Omnibus Election Code. KontraBigay laban sa pagbili ng boto, laban sa pagbenta ng boto, para sa malinis na halalan, para sa demokrasya. Ito ang Committee on KontraBigay.
Good afternoon to Honorable Chairman George Erwin M. Garcia, to Honorable Commissioner Ray A. Bulay, sir, and our Commissioner in charge for the Committee on KontraBigay, Commissioner Ernesto Ferdinand P. Macedo Jr., our senior staff, distinguished guests, good afternoon po. So, I was tasked to present the salient features of COMELEC Resolution 10946. Next, please. So, COMELEC Resolution 10946 is entitled Creation of the Committee on KontraBigay, Establishment of KontraBigay Complaint Center, and Rules and Regulations in connection with the disqualification of candidates for vote buying under Section 68 of the Omnibus Election Code, and prosecution of vote buying and vote selling as an election offense under Sections 261A of the same code. Next, please. So the resolution is divided into 4 parts. First, the first part is the creation of the Committee on KontraBigay. The second part is the establishment of the KontraBigay Complaint Center. The third part is the promulgation of the rules and regulations on the disqualification of candidates who will be found to have committed the act of vote buying under Section 68 of the Omnibus Election Code. And the last part is the promulgation of the rules and regulation on the prosecution of vote buying and vote selling pursuant to Section 261A of the Omnibus Election Code. As mentioned by Commissioner Masede earlier, the this used to be a task force in 2019 and 2022 national and local elections. However, the Commission and Bank deemed it necessary to create this as a permanent committee to ensure the efficient implementation of the policies and guidelines of the Commission to curb vote buying and vote selling under what we call a whole of nation approach. So as you can see, the composition of the committee reflects what we call the whole of nation approach. So we have the composition of the national level. This is headed by our CIC, Commissioner Maceda, and assisted by our Executive Director, Chupisto A.L. Nas Jr. And we have members, other departments of the Commission as members. And on the other side, we have member agencies. We have a lot of member agencies. Number one in our list is the Department of Justice, DOJ, DILG. We have DepEd. We have the ICT. We have CIC. Of course, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, PNP, NBI, AMLC, BSP. We have PAO. We have IBP, PALS, Lente, PPCRB, and NAMPRED. Aside from the National Committee, we also have what we call a regional committee, and that is headed by our regional election directors. We also have a provincial committee, and it is headed by our provincial election supervisor. Likewise, we have a municipal committee and a city committee headed by our election officers. As mentioned by Comaseda earlier, the Committee on KontraBigay is now a standing and permanent committee under the whole of nation approach, and this is dedicated to attacking modern cancer of democracy, which is vote buying and vote selling. The committee has, next please, the committee has several functions, foremost of which is to provide an efficient mechanism and structure for the implementation of policies against vote buying and selling. The committee ensures the active participation of all sectors of society, institutionalizing what we call a whole of nation approach. It provides a procedural tool to aid the COMELEC in the prosecution of cases through our KontraBigay Citizens Complaint Center. Next, please. So what is KontraBigay complaint all about? So this is a dedicated complaint center which will receive reports and incidents solely on vote buying and vote selling. This will be managed and administered by the committee and in participation with our accredited citizens arm, the NAMPREL, the PPCRB, and Lente. It is operational from 8 to 5 in the afternoon, and it started actually August 28 to October 28, and from October 29 to October 31, our operations will be 24 hours a day. And how will we do this? How do we operationalize this one? We will be using the exclusive communication channels of the committee as well as the members of the citizens arm, including but not limited to email, social media like Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So, what are the prohibited acts? Pursuant to Section 261A of the Omnibus Election Code, these are the prohibited acts. So any person who gives, who offers, or promises money or anything of value, who gives or promises any office or employment, franchise or grant, public or private, makes or offers to make an expenditure directly or indirectly, or cause an expenditure to be made to any person, association, corporation, and entity, and the purpose of which is to induce anyone. We would like to acknowledge the arrival of our dear Commissioner Socorro B. Inting. Good afternoon, ma'am. So, just to repeat, if the purpose of the act is to induce anyone or the public in general to vote for or against any candidate or withhold his vote in an election, then that is vote buying. On the other hand, what is vote selling? If a person solicits or receives, either directly or indirectly, any expenditure or promise of any office, employment, public or private, then that is the act of vote selling. The resolution actually expanded the definition or the scope of vote buying and vote selling, because now we have other forms of or acts of vote buying. This is due to the fact that because of the advent of technology, and there is now that trend that people are now using online banking transactions, so it is now included as another form or act of vote buying, the giving of money through digital or online banking transactions or any other mobile wallet applications. Now, if we have just presented to you the prohibited acts, the resolution also contains what we call presumed acts of vote buying and vote selling. And this is found in section 25 of the resolution. So I counted the acts in section 25, and there are 13 in all. So let us start. So the possessing or delivery of any coins, notes, monies, cards, pay envelope, bags, groceries, tokens, or anything of value together, let me emphasize this one, together with sample ballots or other campaign materials. So possessing alone or delivery of any coins will not do. This must be coupled with sample ballots or other campaign materials. So next presumed act of vote buying is the offering of or promising something of value. And these are very common. The next one is if you have long lines, may pila po, no? And the purpose is for the distribution of money, or if not money, discount card, insurance or health card, grocery items, or any other goods. This one is also very common, house-to-house campaign. Again, the purpose is the giving of anything of value. If you hold bingo games or talent shows or other similar activities, that is a presumed vote buying. Employing hakot system, also presumed vote buying. Possessing, transporting, or carrying cash exceeding 500,000 pesos or its equivalent in any foreign currency. If you also cause the splitting of the amount of 20,000 pesos to smaller denomination or smaller bills like 200, 100, 50 pesos, or 20 pesos, that could be presumed vote buying. if you conduct medical missions, legal aids, feeding programs, or caravan, you give, distribute, and receive any assistance or ayuda. This one, the hiring or appointing of more than 2 watchers per precinct per candidate. And if you are found in possession of indelible ink, especially on election day, or you are found in possession of a blank original ballot during election day. And if there are other ways that the candidate might invent that is not found in the enumeration, then we are prepared, because the last part, it is provided that such other analogous circumstances. So we now go to the money ban, which is found in section 27. As mentioned earlier, it is prohibited to possess, to transport, and or carry cash exceeding 500,000 pesos or its equivalent in any foreign currency along, again, let me repeat that, along with campaign paraphernalia and or corroborating evidence. Exempt from the money ban are cashiers and disbursing officers in the actual performance of their duties, provided that they have in their possession their certificate of employment and company or office issued identification card. So in connection with the money ban, all COMELEC checkpoints throughout the country shall conduct money ban checkpoint in addition to the gun ban checkpoint. Next highlight of the resolution is the total ban on the distribution of ayuda and other assistance. This is particularly prohibited during campaign period, the day before elections, and on election day. So it says here it is prohibited to give, distribute, and receive any assistance or ayuda unless this ayuda or assistance is what is usually or normally given to qualified recipients. Another highlight are acts constituting suspicious transactions of vote buying and vote selling, and this is found in section 9. Any unusual transaction flow between accounts, digital banking, and digital wallets, including unusual large cash withdrawals exceeding 500,000 pesos, encashment of checks, and no underlying legal trade and obligation, purpose, or economic justification, or the amount involved is not commensurate with the business or financial profile of the client. This will be considered an act constituting, and these are acts constituting suspicious transactions. This section will be correlated with the authority of the Commission under Section 57 of the Omnibus Election Code on the authority of the Commission to inquire into the financial records of the candidates. Next, we have the surveillance. Section 26 gives the law enforcement agency the authority to conduct surveillance and validation of any reports or incidents. Now, if there is reasonable ground to believe that an act of vote buying and vote selling has been committed, is actually being committed, or is attempted to be committed, the law enforcement agency which conducted the surveillance and the validation may validly arrest the person involved and conduct a search incidental thereto. And this is provided under Section 30 of this resolution. So Section 30 speaks of warrantless arrest. So Section 30, this is the source of the authority of the law enforcement agency to effect warrantless arrest, notwithstanding Section 266 of the Omnibus Election Code, which prohibits the arrest or detention of the offenders during and in connection with election. So we now go to the disqualification of candidates if found to have violated the election offense of vote buying. Any candidate found to have violated the vote buying offense shall be disqualified. And the filing of the petition for disqualification shall be motu proprio. Now, in order to encourage witnesses to come out in the open or protect them from threats, we have a provision on witness protection program. So qualified individuals, complainants, as well as witnesses may be enrolled in the witness protection program of the government. Now, in the unfortunate event that minors or children will be used in the commission of vote buying and vote selling scheme, then we have also a procedure for handling of a child in conflict with the law. And that is under Section 45 of this resolution. Now, this one, all of this from warrantless arrest to the conduct of surveillance and validation, the provision on money ban, all these new provisions, the KontraBigay committee has wrapped up the resolution very nicely in cooperation with all the government agencies hereby present today. So that is all. Thank you very much.
Before we proceed to the next part of our program, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of our friends from the Armed Forces of the Philippines. We have Lieutenant Colonel Jose C. Arjona Jr., SN1 Vishan May B. Serrona, Ms. Jerry May Frias. Also joining us from Paymaya, we have Mr. Mark Talib and Mr. Mike Obaldo. Of course, we also would like to say thank you to our friends from the media for gracing us with their presence today. Before we turn over the microphone to our chairman, who is a little bit occupied right now, we would also like to announce that the Commission on Elections will be launching a Facebook page for the Committee on KontraBigay. You will find there the details how to lodge a complaint against individuals found to be violating or allegedly violating 10946. An email also for Committee on KontraBigay will also be there in the Facebook page.
Wala ako sa program.
Our apologies. Okay, I will be making some announcements. Tomorrow we will be having a memorandum of agreement signing between the Department of Justice, IBP, and the Philippine Association of Law Schools. It will be held at the session hall of the Commission on Elections, 8th floor at 10 o'clock in the morning. We will also be having a MOA signing with the Department of Education and the Public Attorney's Office on September 15. The venue will be announced at a later date. This will be posted in the Facebook page of the Committee on KontraBigay. September 15, Friday. We would like to give the floor to our Honorable Chairman, George Erwin M. Garcia. Sir.
Maraming salamat po, Commissioner Socorro Inting, yung ating pong godmother ng Commission on Elections, Commissioner Ray Ibulay, ang magiting na Commissioner in charge ng BSKE, yung aming natalaga na pinapahirapan para ma-manage ang ating barangay SK elections. And of course, itong tatay naman, itong ating committee ng Committee on KontraBigay, Commissioner Ernesto Maceda, at ang lahat ng nandito po ngayon, maraming salamat sa pagdalo po ninyo. Alam nyo, sinasabi nila, kaya ba ng COMELEC, mapapatunayan ba ng COMELEC? Lagi natin sinasabi sa kasalukuyan. Madami pa rin po kasing mga matitigas ang ulo, mga pasaway, katulad po sa gun ban. Sa gun ban po, sa kasalukuyan, kulang-kulang 300 ang nasa sawata ng ating Philippine National Police. At kahit kailan po, wala kayong nadinig na may violation sa kahit na saang checkpoint ng ating Philippine National Police. Talagang ginagalang po natin ang karapatan ng bawat isa at naka-limited lamang ang PNP sa tinatawag na visual search. Subalit, may matigas pa rin ang ulo sapagkat meron pa rin nagdadala ng baril, akala po makakaligtas, akala po makakausap, at akala okay lang. Hindi po natin palalagpasin ang lahat po yan. Tungkol naman po sa issue ng premature campaigning, akala po nila ay okay din lang na mag-ikot-ikot, maglagay ng mga pagmumukha nila na walang nakalagay na vote for. Ang sinasabi nila, may nakalagay na vote for yan o wala. Kinakailangan tanggalin po ang lahat ng yan. Sapagkat when you say campaigning, it is indirect or direct way of getting the votes or promoting yourself. So yung po mga nakalagay pa dyan, kinakailangan tanggalin po nila sapagkat kahapon lamang, siyam na po yung aming pinasyokos para sila ay magpaliwanag kung bakit hindi sila ma-disqualify o failan ng kasong kriminal na may 1 hanggang 6 na taon na pagkakakulong. Ngayong araw na ito, 81 po ang ating isosyokos at the same time, mag-i-issue na rin po yung law department namin ng subpoena sa mga may kaso o nag-formally complain dyan po sa aming pong law department. isa lang pong pagpapatunayan na hindi po natin palalagpasin ang lahat ng yan. Na talaga pong seryoso tayo dito. Kung dati-dati nakakaligtas po sila, pasensyahan na lang po ngayon. Ngayon po, tungkol sa issue naman ng sa pagbibigay. Kasi po, kapapay pa lang ng candidacy, meron na kagad nagbigay. Yung katulad niya, may nagbibigay ng pangpansid, walang sahog. Yun yung sinasabi ko. Di ba lang nilagyan ng sahog? Magagastosan pa ng kababayan natin. Akala po kasi nila ay maliligtasan nila yung ating pong batas. Ngayon po, kahit na ipadala lang sa amin yung picture, kahit na wala, hindi po under oath, yung pong reklamo, a-actionan po kaagad natin yan. Motor proprio po ng Commission on Election. Ganyan din po ang konsepto ng KontraBigay. Sapagkat mismo ang committee ng KontraBigay ang magpa-file ng kaso na disqualification at kasong kriminal, election offense, laban sa mga mahuhuli. Ngayon po, alam ko po madami rin magtataas ng kilay sapagkat meron po mga nakalagay na presumptions doon. This is the first time in the history of the Commission under the Omnibus Election Code na 1985 circa that the COMELEC will be making presumptions. Eh bakit ba hindi? Masama bang maglagay ang COMELEC ng mga presumptions? Samantalang dinefine naman ang Section 261A kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng vote buying. Hindi naman sinabing bawal ang COMELEC magawa ng presumptions. Bahala sila, di mag-defend sila ng sarili nila. Nung nag-file po tayo ng mga candidacy mula August 28 hanggang September 2, September 4 dito sa NCR dahil in-extend natin. In all fairness, halos sumunod po ang lahat. Halos lahat sila nag-file ng tahimik. Wala yung fiesta atmosphere, ati-atihan, mga tambol-tambol, etc. Napansin niyo po, unang araw, napakadami nag-file. Talaga naman blockbuster, 1.414 million ang nag-file ng candidacy mula August 28 hanggang September 4. Nakakatuwa po dahil ibig sabihin sumunod sila. Yung iba na dapat ay may mga t-shirt na may mga mukha nila, hinubad ang mga t-shirt na may mukha nila at nagkulay-kulay na lang sila ng t-shirt. Alam nila, bago sila mag-file ng candidacy, pwede pa yon. Pag nag-file na sila ng candidacy, premature campaigning na yan. Yan lang po ang maliwanag na usapan. At ang sinasabi natin, yung pakiusap natin sa mga magkakalaban, bantayan nyo na lang po yung kalaban nyo at i-complain nyo sa Commission on Elections. Mas maganda po yon. Hindi namin kaya lahat. We do not have that kind of resources and that much number of personnel. Pero kung tayo magbabantayan, at least po, masisigurado natin na hindi gagawin o kung gawin man, mapaparusahan yung gumawa po niyan. Natutuwa rin po kami dahil so far po, pag umikot ka sa Metro Manila, doon sa mga lugar na traditionally, talaga naman nakabandera ang lahat ng mga election paraphernalia, wala po kayo halos makikita. Kung sinasabi niyo mukhang natatakot, so be it. Ang importante po, pinapatupad ng COMELEC kasama kayo, ang ating law enforcement authorities, sa mga citizens arm, ang ating government agency sa pagpapatupad ng ating batas. Kinakailangan ganun po ang gagawin natin upang sa mga susunod na electoral exercises, lalo yung malalaki, ay maipapakita natin na kung nagawa natin sa barangay SK na supposedly yan ang mas violente, yan ang mas maingay, yan ang mas magulo na gawa natin tahimik ang eleksyon na ito. Nung filing po ng candidacy ang kauna-unahan at nag-iisang block, ayun nangyari po sa Lanao del Sur. Nagpaputok, tinakot ang mga magpa-file ng candidacy upang hindi sila mag-file ng kanilang candidacy. Ngayon, inutusan natin to conduct a manhunt of that particular person, and I think by 2 o'clock, he surrendered already to the PNP. Hindi namin talaga titigilan yung mga ganung klaseng tao. Kasama na rin po yung mismong local official na involved sapagkat inisyuhan na rin po ng show cause order ng law department namin yung kung bakit na pinipigilan ng pagpa-file ng certificates of candidacy. Napakaliit na insidente pero malaki naming tinitreat sa Commission on Elections. Yan po ang pagpapakita ng aming pong pagnanais na ayusin ang ating halalan. Tama na po yung mga nararanasan natin in the past. Tama na po yung sinasabing cancer ng ating makabagong demokrasya. Tama na po yan. Nakakalungkot na ang isang karapatan ay nabebenta at may presyo. Nakakalungkot na sinasamantala ng iilan yung pong kahinaan at kahirapan ng ating mga kababayan. Dapat maintindihan ng lahat na ang pagbebenta ng boto ay pagbebenta ng kinabukasan. Ang pagbebenta ng boto ay pagbebenta sa inyong mga maliliit na mga anak at mga apo. Kinakailangan matigil na po yan. Hindi po kaya ng Commission Elections yung trabaho yan. Kaya po sobrang pasalamat namin sa inyong lahat na naandito ngayon at sa lahat pa na tutulong po sa Commission Elections. Dito po papasok ang tinatawag na active citizenry. Na kinakailangan tayong lahat ay may pakialam. Na tayong lahat ay nakikialam sa kung paano ang kinabukasan ng ating bayan. Kinakailangan magsabi tayo ng tama na sa mga bagay na hindi magtuturo ng maganda para sa kabataan. Simulan po natin dito sa barangay and SK elections. Simulan po natin dito sa committee ng KontraBigay. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Mabuhay po kayo.
Maraming salamat po, Chair. And as our chairman has said, we mean business. To move on to our next part of the program, I will be calling Attorney Sugar Carbero Liacuna to proceed to the press briefing.
So good afternoon. We now open the floor for questions. May we request our friends from the media to please use the microphone. The first on our list is Ms. Tina Panganiban Perez from GMA 7.
Magandang hapon po. Para po kay Chair, Sir, sinabi niyo po na dapat lahat tayo ay nakikialam dahil ang pagbebenta ng boto ay pagbebenta ng kinabukasan natin. Paano niyo po makukumbinsi yung mga natatakot na lumapit sa COMELEC dahil baka sila naman ang balikan ng vote selling?
Katulad po ng ating nabanggit, hindi kinakailangang formal complaint. Hindi kinakailangang under oath. Ibato lang po sa ating pong committee. Sila na ang bahalang mag-imbestiga. Sila na ang bahalang kumuha ng mga mangolekta ng mga ebidensya. Para po hindi mahirapan at para nga po hindi matakot yung mga kababayan natin. At the same time, yung mga magko-complaint po na mga nakatanggap mismo, bibigyan po sila ng witness protection. Andun po yung sa inyong nakuha na polyetos na kung saan nakabox pa na meron nakalagay po doon na bibigyan sila ilalagay sila sa witness protection. Pero kahit kung natatakot po sila, iba to lang po sa kanila katulad ng ginawa natin kahapon dyan sa ating pong premature campaigning na hindi kinakailangan may formal complaint na reklamo lang, sinulat lang, tinext lang, aaksyonan din po kaagad natin yan. Mas maganda po yung ganon. Kasi ang sa amin naman, kung ang COMELEC ay mag-a-act base sa presumption, hindi naman po bawal sa batas na magdemanda ka based on presumption. May tinatawag na disputable presumption, prima facie presumption. O di bahala na yung nademanda mag-defend sa sarili niya. Ang importante, mapaila namin siya ng kaso. Kasi po yung iba, ang paniniwala, hindi naman tutuluyan kami ng COMELEC eh. Wala namang gagawin niya, katulad din yan na nangyari dati. O di sige po, di subukan lang nila ngayon. Yan po yung ating gustong sabihin. Formal ang complaints o hindi, si Commissioner Maceda ang bahala.
Idadagdag lang ako, Tina, no? Chair, in-anticipate na rin ho natin yung scenario na yan, which is why we have in section 36 of the resolution. By the way, this is a 32-page resolution. It's very comprehensive. This is without the annexes. But it speaks of a whistleblower provision. So it reads that any person otherwise guilty of vote buying and vote selling who voluntarily gives information and willingly testifies on any violation thereof shall be exempt from prosecution and punishment. So meron ho tayong whistleblower provision. Nandiyan ho yan sa section 36. Thank you, Tina.
Sir, sa ngayon po, ilan na po yung na-receive
sapat kami, iniimbestigahan hindi yung committee kasi ngayon lang formal launching. Yung law department, pinadalhan na namin ng show cause order, yung dyan mga kandidato dyan sa San Bartolome. Sapagkat pinagmamalaki pa doon sa Facebook account, yung sa Novaliches, yung mga pag-distribute, meron pang panghilot, meron mga kung ano mga nakalagay sa isang plastic at lalagyan, iniikot pa tinadala sa bawat bahay. Parang tahasan kung ginagawa sa amin yun. So ngayon, tingnan namin kung ano isasagot nila doon sa pinadala namin show cause order. Dahil ibabato rin namin yung kanilang sagot at yung mismong bagay na yan sa committee ni Commissioner Maceda. Yung po wala nag-file. Nakita lang po namin, may pa na ano. So ibig sabihin po, kami na mismo magkahanap, hinanap na po namin kung saan yun, kaya nalaman namin sa Novaliches. So, tingnan po natin, kaya ba nag-distribute sa Pilipinas. Pero at the same time, tingnan po natin yung tungkol ng mga plastic na pinamimigay. Pati po yung mga pictures ng mga kandidato namin. Isa pong halimbawa yun. So, that is for buying. Wala po pinag-usapan halaga ang pamilya ng boto. Hindi po pinag-usapan ng presyo dito. Maliit malaki mo sa bibigay ka ng botos mo. Ibenta ang sarili mo sa mga butante. That's for buying.
Sir, paano po kung merong social media post na report sa inyo? Check nyo na po na.
Wala sasabi yun. Ito yung nakuhanan ng affidavit sa report. Kaya nga po, kasama rin natin dito, kasama rin ang Commissioner Maceda dito sa committee. Para sa kaalaman mo ng lahat, ang Philippine Association of Law Schools, ang Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Philippine Association of Law Students, the Association of Law Students of the Philippines, kahit nga po ang MAU kasama natin dito. So, ang ibig sabihin po, napakadami namin magagawa ng mga affidavits. Napakadami rin magagawa ng mga complaints laban sa kanila.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Tina. Next to ask question is Mr. Dwight De Leon from Rappler.
Hello po, good afternoon sa ating COMELEC kaanda. Ang main tanong ko lang is to manage the expectations of the public. Ano po yung inaasahan nating turnaround time kapag may nag-launch ng complaint? Like, possible ba na before elections may mga ma-disqualify na tayo? Or is it one of those cases na paupo na sila sa pwesto tapos matatanggal sila?
Hindi ko na mamaya na yung tungkol sa disqualification. Tungkol sa other grounds of disqualification, actually reasons, we committed that we will resolve everything before the election of October. Ngayon po, as of kahapon, 128 disqualification cases. Tapos, sa law department natin, ang mga napapadala pa lang, hindi mga formal complaints. Ang hope din natin lahat ng yan, ay ma-resolve before October 30. Ngayon, tama po ay base sa observation dito sa COMELEC. Since may proseso kasi, we cannot deprive yung mga akusado ng kanilang karapatan before that due process. Sa tuwing mo, pagdamuli, pagkatapos mo, magpapalitan ng decision paper, tsaka mo rin sasabihin ko resolution. Isa po talaga aminin natin na disqualification case. Isa po after ng election na result. Pero, pag nanalo naman, the COMELEC can still remove these candidates. Ang mahirap po yung disqualification. Isa po, pinapaliwala nila. Ang mahirap po yung criminal case. 1 to 6 years imprisonment din po yan. Patatandaan po nila ang commission na magpapay po niyan. At therefore, information, ang community na magpapay po niyan. Kaya kami po, hindi kami magpapay ng kaso ng hindi sufficient ang ebidensya. And therefore po, yung sinasabi nyo na yung long time, hopefully po matapos namin ang lahat.
Pero, Chair, may kapangako po ba ng COMELEC na kahit nakaupo na sila sa pwesto, kung may mga pending pa silang vote case, vote buying cases, ibig sabihin hindi pa sila ligtas?
Natanggal nga po yung governor. Pag city mayor, vice governor, iba pa mga mayors, kahit na sila yung hakuna. So, hindi po ba naman SK at barangay, hindi po sa minamali yung position. Kaya din natin magtanggal siyempre. Yung barangay, SK kahit nakaupo pa sila.
Yung idadagdag ko ng Dwight, kasama ko dito, napag-usapan din mo namin yan sa aming community. So precisely, one of the downsides ng dati nating experience, we're building on past experiences, is the case build up. Kaya nga ho matagal yan eh. Which is why, kasama ho sa ating mga innovations,
ginawa natin mas madali ang pag-file. In fact, dun sa aming official resolution, meron annex na template complaint. Dati ho, nosebleed ko yung iba na kung kailangan nila magreklamo, papadala sila kunyari ng post or report, tapos hahanapan sila ng gawa kayo ng complaint lapit-lapit. Nakakapa sila kung saan sila papagawa. Meron na ho kami template niya. And then sinasabi din ho ni Chair na part of our resolution is maraming instances where we will do it autoproprio. So all of these are designed towards facilitating the process para yung dating karanasan na mauuwi sa wala. E ngayon, hindi lang sa mauuwi sa wala, mapapabilis pa natin. Pero dahil ito ang unang beses natin na gagawin ito, we're going to build the foundations moving forward so that for the future electoral exercises, meron na rin tayong mga metrics. So meron tayong turnaround time, meron tayong evaluation or assessment after the elections. What did we do wrong? What can we do to improve? Lahat yan probably in the near future malalaman. But right now, alam lang natin that we're putting in effort to make it faster than before. That's what we do.
Dagdag ko rin right, no? Dati, yung complaint natin, iakyat dito sa law department, no? For assessment, evaluation, tapos conduct ng preliminary investigation. Under this resolution, doon na mismo, ating mga election officers, ating provincial election supervisors, and regional election directors, and regional attorneys natin, pwede na silang mag-conduct ng preliminary investigation. And on top of that, yung prosecuting arm ng government natin sa Piskaliya, pwede rin. No? So, mas madali ngayon, mas marami na ngayon ang nagtatrabaho para isapatupad itong ating hangarin.
May final question na lang po dun sa kagustuhan ng KontraBigay to go after both buying offenders via digital wallets or mobile banking. How exactly will that work? And I know other representatives today from PMI so ask for more details on how will that happen exactly?
Now, for digital transactions, no, ang natin dito sa mag-trigger is that there is that unusual activity or volume of transactions like withdrawals, like pag-deposito ng pera sa dalawa, hindi lang isang tao, kundi 500 ka tao sa isang lugar na ginagawa ng isang tao. So with that, mag-trigger na yan for the conduct of investigation. No? So kasama natin dito ang Maya, GCash, at of course, yung Central Bank and AMLAC para ma-monitor ito tapos mag-case based on that information o report na nag-gather natin para ma-strengthen natin at makuha natin yung evidence for purposes of filing the necessary complaint.
For you, AMLAC ang mag-alert sa inyo or citizens kayo mag-alert sa inyo na may mga ganitong suspicious transactions?
May reporting kagad kasi yan ang AMLAC. And of course, yung mga tao mismo mag-testify sila na sa aming barangay, 500 na ang pinadala ng isang tao, no? With the same amount. So with that information, pwede na mag-trigger yan.
Thank you.
Just add, Dwight, because precisely, again, the resolution is very comprehensive in the sense that we also anticipated that. Now, we mentioned that the power we are invoking, we did not even go into the AMLAC law. The Omnibus Election Code in Section 57 empowers the Commission to inquire into financial transactions of candidates, of organizations, and other persons. Now, the fact that you have this enumeration of suspicious transactions allows us to look at what we call it, the footprint. So kung meron nga magreklamo na isang tao, whether it's not by virtue of reporting but an actual complaint, pag ang aming deputized, or in their case, I think they're actually volunteering, volunteer or supply the information to us, makikita mo kung talaga magkaroon ng bigayan. So that is going to be a big help in making sure that meron tayong concrete results. This is really a good faith effort. Hindi lang ito peg or for the sake of art. You'll see that a lot of the people who are part of the committee put their heads together with several working groups, several focus group discussions. 32-page resolution. Tignan ninyo, pag-aralan ninyo, makikita nyo, seryoso po ang Commission on Elections.
Pwede na lang namin, sir, ma-upload sa website. Okay, whatever ba
Upload na yata, na-upload na. Na-publish na rin yan. There's such a thing called the newspaper.
Sir, also, sir, in the primer po that was distributed earlier, at the back page po may QR code. Nandun na po yung Reso 10946. Okay. Thank you, Sir Dwight. Next, we have Ms. Paige Javier from CNN Philippines.
Hi, good afternoon. Question for Chairman. Natin meron na tayo, marami rin natanggap na petitions for disqualification. Pero meron na ba doon specifically na vote buying yung sinasite na instance?
So far, wala. Wala pa. So isang indikasyon yun, baka na medyo wala pa kasi mamimili masyado ngayon. Ang mamimili ng boto, mga 5 araw bago mag-election. Pag ngayong namili, hindi ko malap mga kababayan mo eh. So natitipid pa ngayon. Natitipid pa. So siguro yung nila kung bakit. Sa alam kasi nila, nagbabantayan. Yung nga yung makiusap natin, sila magbantayan. Complain sa amin, dinikta mo sa amin. Eh, yung iba, hindi makapagpakape. Hindi makapag-whatever. Kasi alam nila, dinikta mo sila. Yung mga kalaban, na nandun din sa barangay. Yun yung tinatawag na baranggayan. Kasi kaya ngayon, para medyo mapapakita natin na kahit pa nagpipilan ng ganyan, basta nasusuplong at saka nagre-report sa atin. So far, doon sa pinagkita ko yung mga disqualification, wala pa kong control. Doon kasi sa kalimitan, ang gagawin dyan, magpapal sa law department natin. At this time, sa committee with Commissioner Maceda. At the same time, pagpilala mo ng kasong kriminal, kalimitan, akibat na doon, kakambal na doon, yung tinatawag na disqualification. So, ang iba naman, isang disqualification, tapos i-refer namin sa law department para sa prosecution. Pero in the meantime ngayon, wala. Kaya lang kami nag-photocopy dun sa isa. Kasi nakita namin. Sana nga madami pang gano'n. Alam namin yan talagang sobrang babahayin ng aming law department at saka yung KontraBigay ng napakalaming trato, reklamo. But mas maganda yung indikasyon yun that we empower our citizenry. And napaka-importante sa kanila yung when you empower them. When there is a way in which they can report, they can complain.
Sir, we actually decentralized because we created also the regional KontraBigay, the provincial KontraBigay, the city and municipal KontraBigay. And whereas before, the complaints are sent directly to the law department. Now, sabi nga ni Chair, it goes to us, but it does not go to us or to me or to the ED. Depending on where you are, it goes to your regional KontraBigay or your provincial.
Kasi alam po natin na yung iba, mostly social media na yung ginagamit nila to promote themselves and their advocacy. For the record lang, Chairman, pag nag-post ka ba ng picture mo, tapos nakataas pa yung kamay, nakasuot ka pa yung pangalan mo pa yung photo mo, is that considered premature campaigning?
Kapag ginawa yun after the filing of the candidacy, ang boto ko is qualified. Ang boto ko. Ako yun. Hindi ko alam kung ang boto ng mga kasama. Pero sa akin, that's premature campaigning. Kung gawin yung before ng file ng candidacy, pagka-file, tanggal muna lahat ng mga post. Nakikita ko, at ulit ko mga pinagagawa. Tanggal muna yan, hindi na lang October 19, 10 araw naman yun. Mahaba-habang panahon yun. Naiikot ko ang buong barangay sa 10 araw. Hindi ko magpapaka-active sa social media. Tapos dati-dati hindi ginagawa ng isang incumbent capital yung pagka-traffic, nag-traffic ka lang dyan sa kalsada. Kaya talagang premature campaigning, madali naman pasahin kung ano yung premature campaigning at season issue. Madali pasahin kung ano yung naliligaw sa botante at so, ito lang talagang makita siya sa social media. So, again, pag kandidato ka na kasi, any attempt to promote oneself is premature campaigning.
Share ko lang sa'yo, Chair, salamat. Share ko lang sa'yo, Paige, ang efforts na ginagawa namin at committee level. Kasama yung mga miyembro ng aming mga citizens arms, sa private sector support. Pinag-aaralan namin talaga eh. Maging sa social media and the new technology. Kanina pinag-uusapan namin eh. How do you treat likes, stars, ano ba yung hearts, stickers? Because may economic value pa yan. Diba? So kapag yan, biglang pinapadalhan mo ng stars or likes or whatever, which you can convert into money, that is another form. So kami ho sa committee, sa mga aming IPT, pag-usapan natin yan, titingnan ho natin how to actualize or operationalize it. Put out the necessary guidelines and announcements regarding that. Pero patuloy ang pag-aaral namin na para lahat nito mga bagong pamamaraan ay gagawan din ho natin.
Last is siguro from my end. Any update po on election-related violence na incidents? Kasi recently, meron sa Palacio, yung pinayunari election.
May-ari na namatay. Yung isa sa Cotabato, based sa report talaga ng Philippine National Police, dito, ang problem kasi, ito po ang problema natin, para sa naintindihan ng mga kababayan. Lahat ng klase ng violence na mangyayari, pagpasok ng election period ng August 28 onwards, bago mag-election. At ang involved, whether ang involved ay ang mismong kriminal o ang biktima ay isang kandidato o isang incumbent, dati talaga i-determine election related. Pero ang tanong, yun ba talaga ang dahilan? So yung katulad sa Cotabato, hindi naman pala, dito naman pala. Katulad kung sa Batangas, nahuli yung sa Batangas, yung sa Lipa, pinailan ng kaso ng Philippine National Police. Katulad doon sa Zamboanga, yung pinatay na barangay chairman, yung pala naman ay dahil sa dispute. Hindi naman nagkataon lang, nakapapay pa lang sa ng kanyang candidacy, bakit pa naman ang krimen gagawin sa panahon ng kanyang magpapay. Kaya tuloy pumasok sa election period. So, meron dalawa lang talaga na tinitingnan pa talaga ng PNP ng anbay. Kaya kasalabay kasi, 1,000 na pagitan namatay eh. Yung unang kagawad. Pero yung pinatay yung kagawad, yung sa barangay na sa Albay, ay hindi pa filing ng candidacy. Yung ngayon sa kapitan na yun, pag-file naman ng candidacy sa ayaw siya pinatay. So, ibig sabihin, pumasok na sa election period. So, tinitingnan natin, talaga mga election related. Ang action is, mag-i-play kami ng recommendation ng aming director doon at saka ng PNP, ilalagay pa natin sa COMELEC control. Yung bayan na yan sa Albay, hindi lang yung barangay. So, hinihintay namin yung po ang sitwasyon when it comes to yung violence na nangyayari. Sana lang po mag-distinguish talaga natin kung ano yung in relation or may relasyon sa eleksyon at yung talaga ng mga nagkataon lang na yung biktima ay kapitan o kaya kagawad o tumatakbong kapitan o kagawad at o kaya
magdadagdag lang ako kasi malapit na namin matapos ng PNP determine yung areas of concern sa buong bansa. So basically, ayaw naman namin maglabas ng hindi tamang assessment kasi pati turismo ng bansa nila itong lugar rin masisita. Sample po ay yung sa Negros Oriental. Ano po? So, meron dating mga suggestions even from our senator friends when we senator na postpone yung barangay election. Do you know what we did? COMELEC went personally and we held public hearings extensively sa buong lugar. And the residents don't want it. Diba? The residents don't want it. So bago po kami magbigay ng area of concern, maingat po kami. Kasi pati yung economics ng lugar. Okay. But rest assured that matatapos namin ang PNP po yan as soon as possible. Salamat.
And thank you, Ms. Page. Last but not the least, Mr. Dante Amento from UNTV.
Ay comment siguro kasi chair ng committee. Nabanggit po kanina ni
ay nasa 1,000 po yung vote buying reklamo noong 2022 national elections. Alam natin, ito ay sakop na yun ng KontraBigay. Meron po bang masasampulan doon na maring makita ninyong warrant na file ng kaso sa Korte?
Yeah, but let me share also with you, with the 1,226 total reports received, ang nadakit lang po nun was 39. At doon sa 39 na yun, dalawa ang 17 ang naka-file. So meron din naman, no? But can you imagine the disparity? 1,226 total reports. Only 39 were lang sila. Ibig sabihin, yung mahigit dun sa 1,200 plus, yung case build-up yung ginagawa ng paraan. Ibig sabihin, reklamo lang yun, walang follow-up na affidavit, walang nag-attest, pinadala nilang litrato, siya kukuha, o yung video ay po. Yun ang pinaka, that's one of the reasons why, in fact, itong resolution natin, mas may laman para matulungan mo natin at ng gustong mag-demanda o magreklamo. Dahil alam naman po natin na ayaw natin na-disappoint yung ating mga kabayan. Feeling po nila kasi once they call our attention, yun na yun. So, but we're hoping that with the new resolution, kung 1,226 ang reklamo, hindi lang 39 ang matatapit. So 17 ang nasampahan na according to the law department.
Follow-up po. Kaya na share kanina, bahala na po kayo pag may reklamo ng vote buying. Masasabi ko natin, hindi na yung challenge yung pagkakaroon ng witnesses. Kasi sinasabi mo ba, kahit hindi part of the justice, hindi na yung challenge. Walang witness na tatayo. Doon parang photocopy na action ng public. Sabi ko natin, hindi na challenge yung pagkakaroon ko ng witnesses. Kaso ito na ipapile natin. So, challenge pa rin. Magkakaroon tayo ng testigo dito. Magkakaroon tayo ng affidavits. Magkakaroon tayo ng mga testigo para mag-testify, para magiging solid itong kaso natin. Once ipapile natin. Otherwise, pag wala tayong solido na testigo, ebidensya na iharap ng korte, wala pa rin mangyayari.
Yeah, gusto ko lang i-disabuse din yung decision. We have a renowned city prosecutor, former city prosecutor here. It doesn't mean that just because na nagreklamo ka na, hindi mo rin ipapalo at na nararapat na ebidensya. Gustuhin man natin, with all our best intentions, kahit na mag-moto proprio, hindi rin magiging ganun kadali. Because remember, this is still a process that has to follow in due process. Dito rin ho ang ating former Justice of the Court of Appeals.
There are cases which did not be proven by testimony and evidence, no? But we can produce documentary evidence. Then we can successfully prosecute the case.
Dati, alam mo naman, di ba, election laws ay criminal in nature. Nung huling press conference, dinanatan ako ng media kasi pakulong-kulong yung mga politiko ng COMELEC. Tinanggap nila yung pag-kinulo mo ang eleksyon na to. Kaya power ay nasa COMELEC yung eleksyon, and we can call on this gentleman to arrest. Yun ang tinanggal. Yung yung critics, papa-arrest ko. Anyway, yung sinasabi ko doon, yung kawawang mga malidimanda, normally, yung mga itutulungan lang yun, nagawin mo. Walang pampiyansa yun. Chet ang fiscal ko sa Manila. Wala lahat pera yun. Yun ang makutulong. Ang penalty na violation of election, criminal. Sa akin yung tumakas. Kaya naawa ako. Kaya sabi ko, basahin yung maigi kasi ang violation of election criminal sa fiscal niya ang pasok niya. Kawawa. Kawawa. At kami, kung kami magtutulong-tulong kay demanda, yung mga yun, kahit pa paano, may pagkakalagyan yun. Kaya nagwawarning na kami. Tapos yung tanggapan umikot na rin. At yung aming EID, nag-video ko ng dapat pag-ingatan sa violation ng election process. Para kahit pa paano, nakapagbigay kami ng due process sa lahat, buong Pilipinas po. Sa tulong ninyo ka dante, alam ko kakalat siya. Sa tulong ng Treasury. Kailangan po namin yun para hindi naman po namin gusto maraming demanda. Ang gusto po namin, maraming katulong. Ay higit sa lahat, bukod sa atin, yung mamamayan po ang magbibigay ng success dito sa election na ito. Na kung saan po pinahamo ako. Salamat po. Salamat. Para po dahil sa presensya ng lahat, ulit po sinasabi. Nakakalungkot yan na hanggang ngayon, 1985 election po. Pakibasa niyo po section 261A, yun ang vote buying. Tinanyan niyo yun, ang tanong doon, yung definition of vote buying yun, sa kasalukuyan ba, ay mapaparusahan yung mga mahuhuli, dahil yung mga bagong pamamala. Sabihin niyo, paari, pwede naman. Pero paano kung magamit ng kasi hindi na nababago 1985 na lahat na 1987. Doon na bawal ang mag-aresto ang mga pulis sa panahon ng election period. Samantalang under the Constitution, pwede mag-warrantless arrest. PNP, ang law enforcement. So, napansin niyo po, yun ang nadahilanan kung bakit despite yung limitations na yun na nakalagay sa Omnibus Election Code na matagal ng batas na walang pagbabago hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Kung bakit bakas doon na ginawa ng COMELEC na nagkaroon tayo ng presumptions para makatulong sa prosecution namin. Nakuha nyo? Dati walang presumption eh. Kahit 50 lang watcher sa bawat presinto, hindi na involved sa vote buying. Alam naman natin watcher lang yung pwede. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo pwede masay-prosecute. Kasi maaari hindi mo pumasok doon sa isa sa mga definition ng 261A. Pero dahil may presumption kayo na hindi naman pinagpapawal sa amin. And they thought they are there to enforce and administer election. Kaya kami nagawa ng presumption para mas maging madali ngayon, hindi lamang sa law enforcement authority o hindi sa side ng DOJ, sa side ng COMELEC, ng law department at saka ng task force to prosecute. And the presumption is disputable if not mapasok. Ibig sabihin, pahala ka ngayon, bawat namin ngayon sa iyo ang obligasyon na i-defeat ang presumption. Ibig sabihin, pero should ka namimili, pahala ka magbigay sa sarili mo. Yun ang ibig natin sabihin. So, at least nakapag-prosecute kami. Then, it's now up to the court to disprove our presumption. It's up now to the court to appreciate the evidence na ipinipresent ng accused by defeating ang presumption ng presumption. Okay. So, ang importante, na-prosecute namin using the presumption. Ibig sabihin, nagawa namin paraan yung na provision of 61 at na-expand namin yung spacing to 61 itself. Yung ibig sabihin namin.
Before I pass it on to the executive director, I'd like to just say that these presumptions are not figments, no? Hindi ito imbento, hindi nanggaling sa bula. Bawat isa niyan ay base sa mga kaso na na-file na rin sa amin. Ito ang usual suspects. So kung meron hong 10 presumption or badges na tinatawag, ibig sabihin ito ang kadalasan at karaniwang senaryo kung saan nagaganap yung mga bagay-bagay na yan. At magdadagdag ang ating Vice Chair.
Dagdag ko lang kadante, no? Chair and Coms. Dito ang pinag-usapan na natin dito is paghuhuli at saka prosecution na. Let us remember that our resolution on KontraBigay speaks also of deterrence. Deterrence. So, habang maaga pa, papaalam na natin sa lahat. And that's why involved dito ang PIA, Involved dito ang Citizens Arm, Lente, PPCRB, NAMPREL. Involved dito ang bawat law enforcement agency dito sa deputation nila kasama ang information campaign dissemination. No, kasama ang mga eskwelahan, symposium, etc. para ma-inform lahat na there is that vote buying and vote selling na pinaghandaan natin. Na at the end of the day, wala nang mabibili. Kahit may pera pamili ang mga kandidato, leaders and supporters, pag wala nang mabibili, matitigil din in a way itong vote buying. So very important ang component ng resolution, ng implementation doon sa info campaign dissemination. Thank you po.
Talagang napaka-importante Dante yung ano. Sa inyo pong lahat napaka-importante ang voters education and information. Ito po yung isang pagbubukas ng ating mga kaisipan na hindi dapat magiging parte ng kultura yung vote buying. Nakakatakot na maging parte ng kultura. Dapat sa bata pa lang itinuturo na hindi maganda at hindi tama ang pamimili at pagbibenta ng boto. Saan ka nakakita uuwi ang isang buong pamilya sa probinsya dahil mas malaking kikitain doon kaysa sa pamasahe. Doon nagagastusin. Alam naman natin yan, hindi naman lingid sa ating kaalaman yan. Isang buong barangay ikukural sa isang lugar at hindi pa bobotohin dahil isang pinaboboto. Alam natin lahat yan. Pero ano magagawa ng komisyon? Kaya nga ano ito eh. Sinasabi nila, kung baka naman unconstitutional yung provision na yan, then let them test it for the Supreme Court. Basta the COMELEC will implement it. Pero sa bandang huli po, kaya kami nagganito, para po i-open natin ang ating mga mata at ang ating kaisipan. Tama na yon. Sa at least po, barangay and SK ito, susunod ang midterm election. At tingnan niyo po, 2 election ng 2025 namin. 2 election kami manghuhuli ng mga namimili ng boto at magbebenta ng boto. Tapos papasok ang 2020, 2 election na naman, presidential pa yon. So ngayon pa lang dapat na maibauna natin ng maayos itong issue, itong problema ito sa vote buying at pagkatapos makapagturo tayong election and hopefully in the next succeeding electoral exercises, hindi man mawala, ma-minimize na natin ito dahil kahit paano alam natin, natututo na ang mga makababayan natin.
Panghuling tanong ko po.
Dali, ako muna. May last word ako. Okay? Ito, nagpapasalamat ako. I think I got this data from Ateneo School of Government at a NAMFREL focus group discussions. Meron hong correlation kung sa community nagkakaroon ng open discussion and information dissemination on vote buying. Kapag mataas ang level ng pakikipag-usap at pagdiskusyon sa vote buying, bumababa ang actual vote buying. So nagpapatunay ho yan, no? Na pagdating sa pagbenta o pagpapahalaga sa ating karapatan sa isang demokrasya, hindi ganoon na lang na basta na lang ibebenta mo. So importante ho itong ating deterrent part because if there is such data, that all you need to do is to remind the people of how important it is. This is an important duty as a citizen. This is a privilege of democracy. Maalala din po nila na itong bagay na ito hindi lang basta-basta pinagpipili. Okay? Thanks, Dante.
Chair, follow-up ko lang yung sa Malabang. Ilan po yung, kung confirm na po, ilan yung sumuko? Kasi doon sa video, 2 yung nagpapaputok and then pwede naman nating divulge sino yung LGU na yon na behind doon sa nagpapaputok and isasabay ba natin ang pag-declare under COMELEC control doon sa iba pa or mauna yung Malabang?
Ako na magsasabi kahit wala pang report ng PFA, it should be placed under COMELEC control. At least pinakita na nila maaga pa lang yung magiging itsura ng eleksyon doon. Kung nakita nyo, pinigilan yung mga babae magpapayag ng certificates of candidacy. To me, that is an affront against the Commission on Election. Ako personal sa akin yun. Ang ganda-ganda ng filing ng candidacy, maayos na maayos, magpapaputok ka, mananakot ka ng mga tao doon. Pagkatapos, saan ka makakita, magpapay ng candidacy mga kandidato, pinalibutan na nga ng PNP at AFP, hindi nakapag-file ng candidacy. To me, that is the highest form of disrespect to our laws and to the Commission on Election. Kaya ako, at kasama sila Commissioner Ray, the Bulay, personal ang dating sa akin doon. Kasi para sa akin, hindi mo man lang kami kinilala at nirespeto. Akala niyo ba makakaligtas dahil maliit lang ang bayan nyo yan? And that's why nakarating mismo yung sama ng loob ko hanggang kay Chief PNP. hanggang kay General Roy Galido ng Army. Kung kinakailangan nagpadala sila ng 200 pwersa pa doon na dagdag. So, isipin nyo, katabi lang kasi yung pagpapile ng candidacy doon sila nagpapaputok eh. Na nakita nyo naman sa video. Pinatayan pa ng kuryente yung lahat na nagpapile ng candidacy. Ngayon, magagawa ba ng ilang tao lang yon? May involved na official. At bibigay ko sa inyo lahat mamaya yung mismong show cause order para makita nyo kung sino yung involved doon. Ang sinasabi lang natin, yan ay pagtuturo ng leksyon na wag niyong gagawin sa amin yan. Seryoso kami dito, kandahirap na nga eh. Di ba? Nangyari na yan. COMELEC control na dati yung bayan na yan eh. Tapos ngayon, filing lang ng candidacy, ganyan. Di how much more kapag ka-election na? Baka hindi makaboto ang mga kababayan natin doon. Filing nga lang ng candidacy ito, mga kababaihan pa. So, di ba, hindi na nga dapat sa level namin yan eh. Pero bakit nagkaganon? And that's also the reason why hindi pa pwedeng walang mananagot. Kahit sa mga tauhan namin dapat may mananagot. Kasi bakit hindi nakapag-file ng candidacy? Anong dahilan? Anong nangyari? That's the reason why Commissioner Bulay created a committee to investigate for administrative and criminal prosecution. Kinreate siya ni Commissioner Bulay as a BSKE CIC. So, sana nakikita nyo na ganun tinitake seriously ng komisyon yung mga bagay na ganyan. Kasi nakakahiya. Ang ganda-ganda, maayos ang filing. Magulo nga lang nung unang araw sa sobrang dami. Sa sobrang dami, pero kita nyo naman, walang nakapagreklamo dahil napakaayos tapos may isang block na katulad nun. Definitely hindi natin titigilan yon hanggat hindi natin napoprosecute yung responsible dun sa bahay. So yung dalawa, isa pa lang yung nare-report sa atin na sumusuko. Sabi ko nga, the manhunt will continue. Nag-apply pa kami ng warrant of arrest para lang arestuhin yung mga tao na yon. Ganun sila katatapang, o sige, humarap sila ngayon. And there will be a hearing on September 18 para doon sa mga tao ngayon, kasama yung public official na involved doon. There will be a hearing. Humarap sila dito sa COMELEC Law Department. Magpaliwanag sila kung maayos yung paliwanag nila.
And that ends our press conference. Thank you very much to all our friends from the media. I now turn over the floor once again to Attorney Corinne Falar for the last part of the program.
We now come to the end of our program. We would like to extend our gratitude to everyone who graced us with their presence this afternoon. We are requesting our guests to have a photo opportunity with our esteemed landmark. We will be calling you by table, after which you can enjoy the snacks that will be served at the right part of the room. So for the... Siyempre po kasama po ang ating executive director and then... So may I call on the first table, sirs and ma'ams?
Tama kayo ni. Tama mo yung aim. Tama ka dito. Join us, please. Yeah. Kayo din po. Kayo din po. Kasama ka. Kasama ka. Kasama.
Thank you po.
Next, table number 10. Sirs and ma'am. Table number 11.
Alam mo ba kung ano ang vote buying? Ayon sa Omnibus Election Code Section 261A, ang vote buying o pagbili ng boto ay ang pagbibigay, pag-aalok o pangangako ng pera o anumang bagay na may halaga, anumang opisina o trabaho, prangkisa o gawad, pampubliko o pribado, gumawa ng paggasta, direkta o hindi direkta, o maging sanhi ng paggasta sa sinumang tao, asosasyon, korporasyon, entidad o komunidad. Ito ay ginagawa upang mahikayat ang sinuman o ang publiko sa pangkalahatan na bumoto para o laban sa sinumang kandidato o pigilan ang kanyang boto sa halalan, o bumoto para o laban sa sinumang naghahangad na mapili bilang kandidato sa isang kumbensyon o katulad na proseso ng pagpili ng isang partidong pampulitika. Ang vote buying at vote selling ay maituturing na election offense at may kaparusahan ng pagkakakulong ng hindi bababa sa 1 taon ngunit hindi hihigit sa 6 na taon, bukod sa iba pang mga parusang itinakda ng batas. Tandaan, kasama din dito ang pagbibigay ng pera sa pamamagitan ng digital o online banking transactions o anumang iba pang mobile wallet applications para sa kaparehong kadahilanan. Anumang forma at uri ng pamimili ng boto, isumbong mo sa COMELEC para sa karampatang aksyon. Para sa higit pang kaalaman at wastong impormasyon tungkol sa halalan, bisitahin kami sa aming official social media accounts. Alam mo ba kung ano ang vote selling? Ayon sa Omnibus Election Code Section 261A, ang vote selling o pagbebenta ng boto ay ang paghingi o pagtanggap, direkta o hindi direkta, ng anumang paggasta o pangako ng anumang opisina o trabaho, pampubliko o pribado, para sa alinman sa mga nabanggit na kadahilanan ng sinumang tao, asosasyon, korporasyon, grupo o komunidad. Ang vote buying at vote selling ay maituturing na election offense at may kaparusahan ng pagkakakulong ng hindi bababa sa 1 taon ngunit hindi hihigit sa 6 na taon, bukod sa iba pang mga parusang itinakda ng batas. Tandaan, kasama din dito ang pagtanggap ng pera sa pamamagitan ng digital o online banking transactions o anumang iba pang mobile wallet applications para sa kaparehong kadahilanan. Anumang forma at uri ng pamimili ng boto, isumbong mo sa COMELEC para sa karampatang aksyon. Para sa higit pang kaalaman at wastong impormasyon tungkol sa halalan, bisitahin kami sa aming official social media accounts.